Hi, I'm David Dodge. Welcome to Green Energy Futures. The Energy Futures Lab in Alberta tackles the biggest issues of energy transition by bringing very diverse people with diverse interests together to wrestle with big challenges, such as getting Alberta to net zero. Tristan Walker is one of the fellows of the Energy Futures Lab. You might remember him as the former energy manager for Pincher Creek from our story on climate adaptation. He now works for Massif energy consultants.
So the Energy Futures Lab is a social innovation lab that seeks to bring together a diverse narrative and allow for voices from different perspectives to come together to try and shape an energy future that is equitable for everybody. There's 40 fellows in the Energy Futures Lab, and we've just opened up applications again for 2025. The fellowship gets together twice a year in person to talk about the work that's being done, spend a couple days together, get into the deep nitty-gritty subjects, get a little bit uncomfortable, and really bring back their learnings to their own networks. There's a variety of people in the fellowship. We have those from some development companies, we have those from the utilities, we have an artist, we have myself as a consultant, we have communities that are represented, as well as a variety of the larger oil and gas and electricity corporations as well.
So, what's the big issue they're wrestling with these days?
Obviously, the path to net zero is a big one, and within that, there's a lot of potential impacts. You can talk about jobs, you can talk about cost, energy affordability, you can talk about energy security, and then obviously there's just the social impacts as well. And I've been able to take that back to the groups that I circulate in my day-to-day life and share some of that information. And I think it's one of those things where a rising tide lifts all boats. And so when you're able to get differing perspectives, get a lot of different people in the same room, those perspectives then leak out into the individual networks as well.
Alberta's electricity system is in transition on the pathway to net zero, and this requires new ways of thinking.
So the group that I'm involved in is called the Alberta Electricity Future. And what we're trying to do is set a vision that Alberta can align behind for the future of the electricity system. And specifically the part that I've been involved in is an evolution of what was called the Energy Futures Roadshow, where they would go to communities and they'd try and understand how the community itself thinks about the energy system, could benefit, and what the opportunities are. And so recently, we were in Pincher Creek and brought together about 25 stakeholders from the region to discuss what the opportunities were around the potential net zero energy competitiveness.
Yep, while the public sphere has been dominated by polarization and us versus them battles, the fellows are involving diverse perspectives to figure out how our system needs to evolve to maximize economic opportunities in a net zero future. So, what does the future look like?
I think it's going to be a mosaic of things. No longer can we just generate more electricity whenever it's needed. We're going to have to do a combination of demand side management, new generation, carbon capture, utilization could be a factor. That there's a myriad of opportunity, and it's going to be about finding the ones that work the best for our areas. Renewable energy is critical. The fact that you can generate electricity without a consistent input is pretty spectacular, and it's going to need to be what the future of energy generation is.
Next up, the Electricity Group is investigating the investment and economic potential of the various solutions for diversifying and decarbonizing our electricity grid. The Energy Futures Lab is celebrating its 10th anniversary, and few people know how critical this work is as it sets polarization aside and has the hard conversations necessary to find a pathway to the future that's best for Alberta. Find links to their report and learn more on our blog at GreenEnergyFutures.ca. For Green Energy Futures, I'm David Dodge.